put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, and welcome to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. It is Tuesday, 11th March 2025, and we're coming to you live from the Port Mall here in Scarborough, Tobago. I am Adana Kumbi. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. As you are aware, we continue to celebrate International Women's Day the entire week here on the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. And of course, you are also aware that I have special guests, co-hosts with me in studio this morning. And it is my pleasure to introduce to you my co-host for today. And I'll allow her to do the introductions herself. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Adana. Good morning, Tobago, and of course, all your viewers on the World Wide Web. It's a pleasure being your co-host this morning. It's a different capacity, a different chair. I'm used to being on Tobago Updates, but this time it's quite different, and I think I'll really enjoy this morning.
I think so too, and I find you have been a little bit modest, ladies and gentlemen. In case you're not aware, Miss Avian Parks is the Director of Communications in the Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, which means she kind of runs things. And we're talking about women who have power, women who have achieved, women who have, rise above the challenges that they have faced and have taken up their spaces, and having their voices being heard wherever they are. And we continue to celebrate women, and of course, we celebrate you this morning as well.
Thank you very much, Adana.
She is so modest this morning, but a powerhouse indeed. And we're going to have an amazing show this morning, and we're always so happy where you are with us viewing as we bring the information to you about things relating to Tobago. But before we get into all of our conversations this morning, we head on over to the news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Adana. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Tuesday, March 11th, 2025. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley defended Trinidad and Tobago's sovereignty against U.S. visa restrictions tied to Cuba's medical mission, rejecting claims of human trafficking. Speaking at commissioning of the $1.3 billion Port of Spain General Hospital Central Block, Rowley reaffirmed ties with Cuba despite U.S. policies. He emphasized healthcare improvements, highlighting new facilities and maintenance priorities. However, Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. Amy Brown confirmed ongoing U.S. CARICOM discussions on Cuba-related policies. Up next, the Division of Education, Research and Technology is finalizing preparations for the 2025 Secondary Entrance Assessment on April 10th. A total of 1,004 students, including 34 private candidates, will sit the exam at 40 Tobago centers. Special concessions have been approved for 25 students with special needs. Training for exam personnel is set for April 3rd. Schools are undergoing infrastructure checks and strict protocols will be enforced on exam day. Secretary for the Division of Education, Research and Technology, Zarisha Hackett, emphasized DIRTEC's commitment to a fair and supportive exam environment. And finally, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley's legacy in Tobago is mixed. While some commend his contributions such as infrastructure improvements and efforts towards self-governance, others feel he could have done more for his birthplace. Economist Vanis James argues that Dr. Keith Rowley returns the Tobago economy that has been neglected during his tenure. He believes the island's long-standing issues remain unresolved despite Rowley's years in Parliament. James emphasized the core problems facing Tobago today are the same as when Rowley first became a representative. He stressed that the true autonomy should address these economic challenges, highlighting that Rowley's leadership did not significantly change Tobago economic landscape. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Bianna, for our news there in 90 seconds. And Bianna, you know, we continue to celebrate women here at Tobago Updates Television.
Yes.
And what was it like for you over the past couple of days? We started on Friday having the conversation, and then we had our first co-host yesterday.
Yes.
And now we have another co-host in studio this morning. What is the energy like for you in terms of speaking with women, getting their stories and seeing where they are now in life?
Well, basically the conversation in the air is that we celebrating women, no matter what, whether we, you know, standing out forward, we just celebrating women because it's our month.
And who are some of the women you have been celebrating in your life?
My mom, first of all.
Of course.
And there are some other persons which I would not mention, but my mom, first of all.
Of course, we must give honor to our mothers. And Avian, what about you?
Well, firstly, let me say Happy International Women's Day to all the women around. I know we're a few days behind, but I haven't said it publicly before, so I'll take the opportunity to do so now. Adana, as Bianna said, my mother has really been a tower of strength for me and my siblings, and I really, really want to just recognize her and celebrate her. This morning, Marva Parks Bernard, a former teacher and principal in the community, and I really, really admire her strength over the years. You know, but the debate continues, can women have it all? Even as we celebrate their achievements and we fight for rights and we fight for equality, it's always the long-standing debate, can the woman have it all? Can we have the career? Can we have the family? Can we have the children? Can we have the husband? And it all be successful. I don't know if the debate will ever end, but what I would say is that without a proper support system, it is really difficult for us to really have it all. The support system is so crucial and so vital.
And that is very true. And even yesterday in our conversation, we were talking about the fact that we do need the support. We spoke about, and my point was that I don't want the two genders to be competing. The important thing is for us to understand our roles. As a woman, what is my role? As a man, what is your role? And how do we support each other and ensure that we both benefit in all the spaces we occupy? I don't want to take on the role of a man, and I don't want a man taking on my role. It's unattractive. You know,
Absolutely. And you know, as you say that, I've always said we are different. Men and women are different, and difference does not mean inequality.
That's right.
And I think once we understand that, the sexes or the genders will really be able to coexist a bit better, but difference doesn't mean inequality.
That's right. That's right. Well, we'll continue the conversation, of course. What we want to do really is celebrate women, and that's what we're going to do. When it's International Men's Day, we're going to celebrate you all the same because we appreciate all the inputs that you have made in society. But this week, we're going to take it for ourselves. We're going to celebrate all the fine women who have struggled and made it. And even if you didn't have much of a struggle, once you're a woman, we're going to celebrate you because there is something in you to celebrate. Thank you so much, Bianna, for being on set with us this morning. I do hope that you have a wonderful day, and the rest of the week also is wonderful for you.
Same to you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
you remain consistent.
Of course, consistency is our key word here, and we will remain consistent. You as well. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the morning where we celebrate with those who are celebrating. It's time for our birthday shout-outs. Drum roll, drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. Happy birthday to my mother. This is my mother.
I didn't recognize your mom there.
This is my mother.
Birthday.
Yes, Sharon Irving Cumby. Come on, send the slideshow through there. More
former clerk of the house.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Give her accolades. Former clerk of the house, former administrator. You know, one of the foundation public servants on the island of Tobago, serving really, really well. Yes. Mommy, happy birthday to you, coming to you from all of your children, your husband, your grandchildren, your daughter-in-law. We all love you so very, very, very much. Why am I feeling as if I'm choking up here, saying happy birthday to you, to a strong woman? And Avian, as you were talking about your mother, I feel the same about mine. Very, very strong, determined, focused, lending support to all of my siblings. You know, my aunties, my uncles, she's just there for everybody. And today is your special day, and so we want to say happy birthday to you. We love you dearly, and we do hope that you, in fact, I know that you're going to have an amazing day. So happy birthday to you, Mommy. All right. I think that's the lone celebrant. Ooh, look at me. Look at me
One
talking
more.
about the lone celebrant. I got caught up
One
there
more.
in that. I got caught up there in that. And I want to say also happy birthday going out to this fine lady, Kimon Dalrymple. Kimon Dalrymple is also celebrating a birthday today, and we do celebrate you in that purple representing International Women's Day
know,
color.
right? Happy birthday, Kimon.
Yes, so happy birthday to you, and we do hope that you have a wonderful birthday today. And
Loving
of course,
the haircuts.
yes. And of course, if you are celebrating a birthday, you're celebrating an anniversary, whatever you are celebrating, even if we don't have your photo, we join in the celebrations with you, and we remind you to put God first, because he is the sole reason why there's even anything for you to celebrate. And we continue to celebrate women right here on Tobago Updates Television. Speaking about that, who are we having conversations with this morning in studio? Can you tell us, Avian?
Sure. Our first guest this morning, Cheryl Clark, Managing Director of Casket Emporium Funeral Agency, and she is also a woman corporal with the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. We also have coming up Fanta Carrington, a poultry farmer. Many of us might be familiar with Fanta. I actually buy my chicken from Fanta very often. And we have Angela Campbell, a female bodybuilder. Not a very popular sport amongst females in Trinidad and Tobago, particularly Tobago. She's the she's the only female bodybuilder I know in Tobago. So those are our three guests.
Right, and you
this
know,
morning.
looking at the balance there of the conversations, talking about can women have it all, and you see we talking about women in their careers and of course owning it, and you're talking about Fanta being the poultry farm, and you actually purchase your livestock from her, your poultry from her, sorry. And you know, it's so amazing that we can actually, while we might not be able to have it all, or the conversation about that is still ongoing, we can do so much. We balance life in such a way that I don't think the man is able to balance it as effectively as we are. And I'm not saying this to put men down. I'm just saying this because that's the nature of how we are. We were created to nurture.
Correct.
We were created to manage. The type of management skills we have, I think, is just so amazing.
And I think those very things have helped us to venture into unconventional roles, unconventional professions, unconventional spaces. So it's sometimes I think it's our blessing and our curse. but I admire that about women. We can really just jump out there and venture into something that has predominantly been a male-dominated area.
That's right.
And still excel and succeed.
That's right. And the history shows that it has happened. So,
Yes.
you know, we can do amazing things. And I've been prompted to let you know who's up next. Of course, up next is Cheryl Clark. Cheryl Clark is up next, and she's coming to talk about managing careers and womanhood. Managing careers and womanhood. But in the meantime, whether you are viewing right here in Tobago, in Trinidad, the Caribbean region, the United States of America, Canada, England, all of Asia, Africa, Australia, wherever you are this morning, we say thank you so much for choosing us and making us your number one choice for morning show here on the island of Tobago. Whether you're viewing on our Facebook live stream, on our YouTube channel, on AMPLIA 102 or Flow 121 or 130, this is your opportunity to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
The Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm. On Easter Weekend 2025, Tobago is the place to be from April 17th to 20th. The Rhythm, the Soul of Tobago. On Thursday, April 17th, get ready for a worship experience at the Shore Park Complex with Melodies from Heaven. Melodies from Heaven. Then on Saturday, 19th April, immerse yourself in the sun, sea, and sand at the Buku Seafood and Jazz Festival, featuring legends of R&B. On Sunday, 20th April, we bring the curtains down at Parade Grounds, Dwight York Stadium for Fusion. Get your tickets on islandetickets.com now or visit TobagoFestivalsCommission.com for more info. Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival 2025. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 gigabyte fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We begin conversations in studio with our very first guest, Miss Sherelle Clark. She's the Managing Director of Casket Emporium Funeral Agency and also a female police corporal. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
And happy International Women's Day week to you from all of us here at Tobago Updates Television.
Thank you, and same to you.
Thank you so much. And you know, we're talking about women in careers today, and we're talking about, you know, how do you manage the balance that is required being a woman, running a business and running a family, running a home, doing so many things that you have to do in life and showing up in a way that represents you as a woman.
So, good morning to everyone that's locked on. Happy International Women's Day to each and every one of my beautiful ladies. So I'll tell you this. I'm not a magician, so I'll start there. I'm not a magician. Balancing my work life, my personal life, the kids, it really does take some discipline. It really does take some organizing, setting boundaries and sticking to the boundaries I've set. You know, especially, so as a mother, I would say my children, my family, that's my heart. That's the reason I live. And, you know, just basically prioritizing them and then remembering that I'm also a woman in business. I'm also a career-oriented person. I have to get up and remember, in as much as I want to prioritize them, I also have to juggle my both hats. And I get up, I put my mindset, I make my mindset to be a positive one, and above everything else, I get my strength to balance my act from putting God first.
That's right. And
Yes.
you know, sometimes we tend to forget that we have to see about ourselves as well. And we also have to tap into that source that gives us the empowerment that we
Definitely,
need to
definitely.
do what we have to do. And we're talking about a very, very unique career here. We're talking about caskets and, you know, the afterlife, preparing for that. What was the thing that gave you the inspiration to join this industry and to be a part of this business?
So that is a question I'm asked so often, and it's kind of funny because it just began with a dream, and I chased that dream until it became a reality, that one I am so proud of. Now, the funeral industry has been male dominated for eons, maybe since before I was even born. But I'll tell you something. I saw an opportunity to insert myself into this male dominated industry, and I saw where I can get in and make a difference. As women, we have the ability to nurture, to be so compassionate, and I think those are healing qualities. And for this industry requires healing. It requires empathy. It requires compassion, and as a woman that basically I placed myself into this industry, I am so proud to be one of the females that's here, pushing myself forward, making a difference, and creating diversity in this industry. But I'll tell you, just a dream. It started with a dream that I chased.
And talking about chasing that dream, what did it take for you to get there? Because sometimes we have dreams, we even pen it, we put it in a notepad, we set up, timelines, and sometimes you fall off the wagon. What did it take for you to stay on course to ensure that your dream became a reality?
So, like I said, putting God first is a must. And I start by, I'll say this before I say that, right? I start my day with my devotions. And I try to make sure all my purposes are aligned. But I'll tell you something. My support system has been really excellent. So it took a lot of hard work. It took a lot of sleepless nights. It took a lot of doing it myself when nobody else could do it, or nobody else could see what I wanted, what I'm seeing, or what I want to make into reality. It took a lot of that, but my support system has been excellent. And my mother, she prayed. That woman prays, and she prayed. And listen, all of those things single-handedly assisted me in bringing this dream into a reality.
I'm listening to you here, and I'm feeling your passion in getting into this industry. And as you mentioned, it was a male-dominated industry, and you being in there now, have you seen any impact on your part in terms of what areas do you think you were able to impact, and how do you intend to expand the industry to allow other women to think, hey, I believe I can do this too, and bring that measure of, as you said, comfort is an industry that requires that type of comfort and love as the loved ones are going on. How do you intend to bring that impact?
So, I'll tell you this. One of the things that, as women, we already have an unconscious bias that basically exists, that, we have to work a little harder to prove ourselves, to show the world that, yes, they can do it, but we can as well. So, I would tell any woman, any person that wants to get into business, into this business especially, you must be patient. You must have the ability to exercise patience. You must be able to do your business and your biddings honestly. But if you don't have compassion, if you don't have empathy, because it's not at the end of the day always about a profitable turnover. That is the cue for business. When we say colloquially business is business, we automatically know what that means. But I'll tell you this, it's not always about that profitable or that monetary turnover. It is one of the hardest things to see a mother or somebody cry and grieve for a loved one. And, getting that person or getting those people from grieving into a state of comfort, helping them find closure, and turning something so sad into something so memorable and joyful gives me great joy. And I'll tell you this, it is constant work. It is constant work because, again, we have to keep proving ourselves. I remember the first time I sat behind the wheels of the hearse. Everybody stood at the entrance of the cemetery and tried to give me directions. So they would say, and I've been driving years, right? I don't want to sell off my age, but I've been driving a lot of years. And they would say, come back, no, stop, turn, lock, wait. But as I have a male driver in that seat, everybody just automatically assumes he can drive and he can handle it, and this is such a big vehicle, but that's a guy and he'll be all right. You know, so I will tell you, overcoming those things and not allowing yourself to be shaken by just the little things would do wonders for you, especially getting into this industry.
Yes, and you know, who are some of the your female idols who you've looked up to, or at least for motivation, for encouragement, that have empowered you to take up that position? Additionally, the younger persons who are coming up, what would you like to say to them if they want to take on a dream like you had, that and to bring it into a reality, even though there might be challenges and obstacles in their way?
So, definitely, my mother, she's my biggest idol.
Mothers are really, you know, they are present this morning.
They are. And I'll tell you, this has nothing to do with International Women's Day. My mother, she's a superhero every single day, every single minute of every single day. And I looked at her take care, and I come from a huge family, and I looked at that woman take care of us and bring us and taught us values, taught us that, listen, it can get difficult sometimes, but it's always going to be worth it. It's always going to be worth pushing through. It's always going to be it's always going to be worth it to follow your dreams, follow your heart, chase it, work hard for it, and attain it. So I'll tell you, that woman, I look up to her. She's so graceful, she's so majestic, and she's beautiful. She's as beautiful as the morning sun, I'll tell you that. Now, for the young people coming up, success does not come easy, but it's really not that hard. If you love what you do, then you'll be able to do what you love. So you have a dream, work at it, push it. It is really attainable. It might seem far, but the furthest journey begins with the first step. Just take that step, keep pushing, be honest, and be patient. That is what I would tell my young people coming up.
All right, you know, and I really am proud of you, and I want to say congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And I do hope you continue to make the measure of impact. And I like the fact that you were able to identify what is the actual aspect of the niche you wanted to get into. The reason for getting in there is to bring that measure of comfort and peace for the persons who are left behind. So I do hope you are able to continuously fulfill that role, and that your business, you know, continues to flourish, and also that you remain an encouragement for younger persons who are coming up with a dream, especially in an industry that is, we could call it unconventional for a woman to be in, and that person will thrive there as well. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Thank you so much for talking us through your dream, and of course saying that you love your mother so much as your strongest supporter. We do appreciate your mother as well. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We've been speaking with Miss Sherelle Clark, Managing Director of Casket Emporium Funeral Agency. But up next is in studio and ready. Next, we'll be speaking with Miss Fanta Carrington. She is in studio and ready to have that conversation. You think a woman cannot do it? She will tell you that a woman certainly can. So do stay with us this morning. But before we go for a break, we have a photo for you. Photo of the day. Can you guess where the photo of the day was taken from this morning? You need to guess. Where was this photo taken from? It was sent in by Zavi Roberts. And we say thank you so much for sending in this photo. We do hope you can guess it. When we come back from the break, we might be able to tell you where the photo was taken from. But in the meantime, we have to go for a short break. And as we go, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
The Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm. On Easter Weekend 2025, Tobago is the place to be from April 17th to 20th. The Rhythm, the Soul of Tobago. On Thursday, April 17th, get ready for a worship experience at the Shore Park Complex with Melodies from Heaven. Melodies from Heaven. Then on Saturday, 19th April, immerse yourself in the sun, sea, and sand at the Buku Seafood and Jazz Festival, featuring legends of R&B. On Sunday, 20th April, we bring the curtains down at Parade Grounds, Dwight York Stadium for Fusion. Get your tickets on islandetickets.com now or visit TobagoFestivalsCommission.com for more info. Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival 2025. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Hello and welcome back. You're watching Tobago Updates. This is the morning show and I'm your guest host this morning as we continue to celebrate International Women's Day. My name is Avian Parks. We have our second guest on this morning and her name is Fanta Carrington and she is a poultry farmer. Fanta, good morning.
Good morning, Miss Parks.
Good
morning, Tobago.
It's such a pleasure having you on the program. I met Fanta a few years ago as we went around with the then Chief Secretary, Mr. Dennis, and we were going around to the farms. And Fanta actually was probably one of two females who was into agriculture. Now, I will tell you a little secret, Fanta. As a student at Scarborough Secondary, I always ran from the agricultural period because I did not like being in the sun. So when I see women in agriculture, I am really, really so proud of you all. I really admire you all. Just tell us about your journey. Why agriculture? How did you choose this field to get into as a career?
Well,
My father left Trinidad as a certified welder, and he came to Tobago to reside here, right? And he started a family. When he came to Tobago, he came with 2 fishing boats, a van, cooler. He also had a fishing tackling shop that my mother would have run, right? And that didn't work out, that failed. He then decided to be a taxi operator. That failed as well. At that point in time, my mother was a housewife. They both decided to become farmers and they pursued that, right? So because they were farming at Roxborough Estate, from time to time, especially during the holiday season from school vacation, my sister and I would be at the farm with them and we'd be involved in the farming, right? So I was exposed to agriculture from a tender age and I grew to love it.
So whilst you were doing that as a child, you said you were exposed to it from a tender age. Did you actually see yourself doing that full time? Was that an interest? Was that a desire?
Well, as time go by, I decided to pursue agriculture at the tertiary level. I did a Associate in Applied Arts degree at ECIAF in Trinidad. And then I came back to Tobago. I joined the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development. I am employed there for the past 18 years till current. And that's my full-time job. I chose agriculture as a career. And then I decided that I'm going to also pursue it as a business. So I decided to become an entrepreneur in agriculture.
So tell us a bit about your services or your products that you offer. Tell us a bit about your whole farm setup there in Canby. What can persons get from you?
Well, I'll take you back a little bit. At a tender age, I would have involved myself in short-term crops, lettuce, pak choy, celery. We would have produced them and sell them. You know, just stand by the side of the road and you ask people to purchase from you. And
around what age was that?
Primary school.
Really?
Primary school, secondary school. Sometimes your friends pass, they will laugh at you, but I never see that as a deterrent, you know. And after coming back from ECIAF, working with the division, I decided to venture into rabbit farming. I registered a business. I named the business Fanta Rabbit and Poultry Farm. When the business grew, I decided I need a little more catchy name. My husband at the time came up with Pairs of Ears Rabbitry.
Because we're seeing that on your jersey.
Yes, and I was like, Pairs of Ears Rabbitry? You come up with that. He asked me to notice when you're going by the farm and the rabbits realize that you are there, how they operate. You'll always see all the ears come up like that. Right? And then the name grew on me, and I said, okay. I went ahead and I changed the name to Pairs of Ears Rabbitry. And for some reason, that didn't go as I expected it. And I decided, okay, let me try my hands at the poultry aspect. So I started off with broiler production in 2019. That went well up until last year, April. And, you know, we had a little challenge with cold storage facility. And at that point in time, I already had 500 layers on the ground, now came into lane. And I say, here what? I will have to do something that I am fully in control of. When the meat go to the cold storage, I have no control over it. So I decided, here what? I'm just going to expand on the layers. And I took the production from 500 to 1,000. And right now, I am expecting 500 birds again.
Right, and now you're doing eggs, because I don't think when we visited the farm you were doing eggs.
No.
At the time. So you also expanded into eggs.
Yes.
Have you found that profitable?
Yes, it is profitable, while trying to keep the prices as low as possible so I could offer protein to the tables of many in Tobago. I try to keep the price as reasonable as possible, so I offer my eggs at $25 a dozen.
Excellent. Now, Fanta, you know, as we celebrate International Women's Day and we look at the achievements and the accomplishments, one of the things you mentioned is the fact that you have a husband and I know you have children as well. How do you balance? How do you balance? How do you manage being an entrepreneur, being a wife, being a mother? How easy is that or how difficult is that?
Well, as you say, it's a balance. You have to strike a balance somewhere along the line. But I also have a lot of help from my family members, my mom especially, my husband. He takes care of the boy, and that is going quite well. So the business is not just about me, it's family oriented. Everybody have their part to play, and we pull it off.
And that's one of the things I keep saying, and that Dana and I were talking about it earlier, you know, the fact that as women, can we really and truly have it all? Can we have the business? Can we have the family, the career? And I said one of the things that is so crucial and vital to us succeeding is having that support system. And of course, you mentioned your husband doing his part, your mom doing her part, it being a family business. You know, without that support system, it really makes it probably 10 times harder. You know, I think of Michelle Obama, who always spoke about the fact that her mother being able to be in the White House and having that support system allowed her to be who she was able to be. You know, so I'm really glad that you mentioned that. And you know, you also spoke about having to pivot. Your dad had businesses that didn't work. You had to make some changes. I mean, you still have the pairs of heirs, you know, Rabbitry name, but you have pivoted. What kind of encouragement would you give to those who want to get into business, particularly agriculture?
Well, one of the human basic need is that we must eat. So agriculture is always a good option. It's a viable option, and I invite any female who interested to just hop on board.
You know, something I want to ask, do you ever feel like you are being, for want of a better word, looked down upon as a female in agriculture, you know, dealing with whether it's the dirt, whether it's animals, it's not necessarily the suits and the high heel shoes. You know, do you ever feel different?
Well, there's societal expectations, but I use that as my driving force to improve me, right?
And I love that you talk about that, the societal expectations, because I think oftentimes societal expectations limit us. And not just as women, just limit us as human beings. Sometimes, you know, we want to do something. This is our passion. This is our desire. But there's the expectation of sometimes family, society, classmates, so many different things. And it really limits us from fulfilling purpose and being who God has called us to be and God has created us to be. So it's lovely to see you walking in your purpose. I believe this is who you were created to be, designed to be. This is the road or the path that you were designed to take. And you have done that bravely. You are doing that excellently. I certainly admire you. I love to come for my chicken. I love Panda's chicken. I love your setup, and I must talk about that. The one of the things I admired when we visited your farm was how organized it was and how clean it was. Listen, we had to go into a solution in a crate, you know, our shoes before entering into it was the cold storage area.
Yeah,
So we could not just walk off of the streets and come into her business. We had a process. You know, how difficult is it to maintain those processes?
Well, us working on the farm, we don't really go into the dip because our boots and clothing and so on don't really leave the farm. But for people who coming in, we tend to, at least the footwear, you must go into the dip.
Right.
Yes, because you don't want to bring disease and so on onto the farm.
And that's the kind of care that Fanta takes. I had really laughed that time. I was shocked, to be quite honest. I was really surprised, and she really didn't care who it was. This was her sanitary measures, and you stuck to that. You stuck to that, and that was really, really good. What about your children? Do you see yourself raising or encouraging your children to follow this path? Are they involved in the business like you were involved? You spoke about you and your sister being involved in your parents' business whilst you were growing up. Are you doing that same trend with your children?
Well, at this point in time, my daughter, she seemed to don't really like the hands-on approach on the farm. But the sale aspect, yes, she's there. And then my little son, 2 years old, he is quite involved in all the activities on the farm. So he will help take out the waterers. That is when we used to have the bell waterers. Now we go into the cup nipples. He will take up eggs. He will help wipe eggs. Sometimes he will even package the eggs.
Right, so your daughter is a businesswoman. So she will handle the funds. She will handle the cash. So you see division of labor already one time. And your son is your helper. So he will definitely carry on the business. And it's so important to have our children involved. Not just enjoy the rewards that come from the business, but to have them involved in the business and to have that sustainability and that legacy. So just tell us about the eggs one more time, how you sell them, where persons can get the eggs.
Right, so I normally distribute eggs. I will deliver to mini marts. At current, I have Wendy's wholesalers at Bagatelle, Tobago. I have Triple L, mini mart and stationery at Spring Garden. I have Riseland Mini Mart. I also have Foreshore Food Basket in Riseland Bethel. Right, that is it for mini marts. I supply to 4 restaurants and I also sell to the general public. So on Friday afternoons, 4 to 6, I will be at Canby Junction selling out of the panel van. On Saturday morning, 9 to 12 as well at Canby Junction. And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, my mother will be on the Claude Nobel Highway, Pascal Village, Lambeau, under the tent, and she will sell from there. And that is 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
Tell us the name to look for on the crates. I don't know if the camera could zoom in, but just tell us the name to look for on the crates.
You can look for Pears of Years Rabbitry as the brand and Fresh Eggs.
Excellent. Fanta, thank you so much for joining us this morning on Tobago Updates. Thank you for taking us through your business as a poultry farmer. And I just want to continue to encourage you to do what you're doing. You're doing an excellent job. And of course, we need to eat. So, viewers, we have come to the end of Fanta's interview, but we did have the photo of the day. It should be coming up on screen. Right. And this is my favorite village in Tobago. It's Castara Bay, and this photo was provided by Xavi Roberts. Xavi, I did not know you were such an excellent photographer. Great choice. So that's our photo of the day, and that was provided by Xavi Roberts, Castara Bay. So we go to a very short break. Don't go away. Keep your hand on the dial. We'll be right back.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 gigabyte fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
The Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm. On Easter weekend 2025, Tobago is the place to be from April 17th to 20th. The rhythm, the soul of Tobago. On Thursday, April 17th, get ready for a worship experience at the Shore Park Complex with melodies from heaven. Melodies from heaven. Then on Saturday, 19th April, immerse yourself in the sun, sea, and sand at the Buku Seafood and Jazz Festival, featuring legends of R&B. On Sunday, 20th April, we bring the curtains down at Parade Grounds, Dwight York Stadium for Fusion. Get your tickets on islandetickets.com now or visit TobagoFestivalsCommission.com for more info. Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival 2025. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Hello and welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates. Thank you for staying with us. Before I left, I neglected to tell you who was up next, and you would not believe that the people in the studio almost crucified me. So I'm your guest host, Avian Parks, for International Women's Day. I am enjoying myself in this seat. It's a different seat. I'm not used to being on this seat in this program, but I'm enjoying it, really enjoying it. We have the photo back in the day. We'll tell you, we want you to guess where that is, and we'll tell you where that photo is at the end of the program. So this is the photo back in the day. Check it out, see if you can remember where this is, and we'll come back to it at the end of the program. I also want you to share the live. You know the favorite line on Tobago Updates: share the live, share the live, share the live. I also got crucified for that, for not saying share the live. So share the live, share the live, share the live. And up next, we have a friend of mine, fitness. We're going to fitness. We had Casket and Emporium, we had agriculture, and now we're going into fitness, which is one of my favorite areas. And on set with me is Miss Angela Campbell or female. Right now, I think she's the only female bodybuilder in Tobago. Angela, good morning and welcome to the morning show on Tobago Updates.
Good morning, Avian. And it's a pleasure being here with you this morning.
It's a pleasure having Angela because if you know Angela, she runs from interviews, she runs from the camera. So I was so surprised that she agreed to do this interview. Now, Angela, let me just tell you a little bit about Angela. And she's the owner of Angie's Body Sculpting. She has held 6 first place trophies and medals from bodybuilding competitions. She placed first in the fitness challenge and second in the women's physique at the 51st Central America and Caribbean Fitness and Bodybuilding Championship in Georgetown, Guyana. And that was in October of last year, 2024. She was also a nominee for the Sports Awards, that's FCB Sports Awards. She was a nominee. And right now, she is preparing to do the Roger Boyce Classic in Barbados. And that's coming up on May 10th, 2025. Angie, you have accomplished a lot in this area. It is, again, one of the unconventional areas for women, particularly in Tobago, because sometimes even just having conversations with women in Tobago, we don't like to lift weights. We're afraid to lift weights. How did you embark on this journey of bodybuilding?
I love fitness. That is number one. I love muscles. And because I love muscles, I decided I really wanted to be a fitness trainer. When I become a certified fitness trainer, I think I could do more. It have more in me. So I get into bodybuilding when I realized, because I had the same phobia, when you lift weights, you're going to get big. But now when I realize when you lift weights, the muscles will just get stronger and tone. It's the food you eat determine your size. So it was a whole flip side. So then it makes it easier for me to just go on to that. But on a whole, being healthy, muscles are the organs of longevity. You go far with muscles. So I will encourage everybody to lift weights. Muscles does not know age or gender. So once you lift weights, the muscles is going to get strong.
No, Angie, I mean, you will sit here, you have been doing it and you love it. You have a passion for it. But when you were getting into it, what kind of reception did you receive? You know, did you have to go through, Angie, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Why you want to get all these muscles?
I was criticized a lot. But with me, even if you criticize me, I didn't make the negative break me. I take the positive from the negative. So when they say, why, and you can't, and you won't, I said, yes, I will, I can, I must. So I just take the negatives and go forward. It helps push me to where I am today.
So you had to overcome, Fanta spoke about the expectations. You had to overcome societal expectations of what a woman should be and what a woman should be doing. And if your mind not
strong, it definitely gonna break you, because sometimes you hear some things that's like, oh my. So you start thinking, should I continue or should I go? And then I said, no, I'm a born leader. I'm not gonna step down. I'm gonna step up, and I'm gonna encourage people to move ahead and they don't have to be bodybuilders, but I mean, get into some sort of fitness, keep moving. Just move the body, move it.
One of the things I admire about Angela when she's going for competition, and sometimes we meet up in the gym and we have a chit chat, and she will say, Avian, I'm training as the winner. I have to win. Tell us about some of the training that you have to go through to be able to come first, to come second, representing Tobago as well.
Okay, I will sum it up as train insane or remain the same. So you don't train normal. So you're not going to the gym and do 5 reps, 20 or whatever. We hit the 500s on whatever reps you're doing. So you just actually you push your body beyond the limit. So you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And once you want to win, you have to go all out. Forget the pain got easy.
So that is why I am on this side of the chair. on this side of the table, and Angela is on that side of the table, because whilst I have some discipline, I don't have that level of discipline. What about the eating? Angie, I love my cheesecake and I love my chocolate. How do you manage? And you know, they tend to say, oh, women love sweets, and we have cravings and we love to indulge. Angie, you're always talking about eating sweet potato and watermelon. How do you manage that discipline to stick to a particular diet?
Why do you know you you have a challenge against you? You cannot make your belly control your mind, because you're definitely in problem. So it have times the eating is harder than the training. So it have times as like when competition get really close, like 2-3 weeks before, and you're actually off the carbs and everything. You just lock up in the room and cry because you're craving for the food, and you keep saying no, and you will cry and fall asleep and then wake up and train. And then I reached to the point now that the mind that I have, I am too tired to eat, but I'm never too tired to train. So I will train. I was actually send home the clients, because when you're off food, you're definitely off. So I'll give them their work, send them home about a week or two before the competition, because I cannot deal with them, because I could barely deal with me. And so just train, eat, cry.
Train, eat, cry. I don't want to. I'm not called to bodybuilding, right? Because I think my belly controls my mind most of the time.
It's all in your mindset, because when you think that somebody else is training hard because they want a pro card, because I'm actually going and do a pro show, they want a pro card, they want to come first, and you want the same thing, because I don't intend to leave Trinidad and Tobago to go out there and don't place. And I see myself always as a winner, so I have to train like the winner, eat like the winner, sleep like the winner. So if the winner have to cry a week to win, I'm gonna cry for 2 weeks.
And as we wrap up, you know, and you're getting ready to go to, it's Barbados, Barbados for the next competition. What is it like, you know, when you go out there in a different country, whether it's a new country, to represent Tobago, to represent Trinidad and Tobago? What is that experience like for you? How does that feel? You know, when you're going up on stage, do you think, okay, I'm not just here representing Angela, I'm representing the island, my people? What is the experience like?
It's a great feeling, and you have to go there really confident, because you're going and give it your best shot, no mistakes. So you always have to keep focus. You cannot shift your focus from, the judge could say what they want, but in your mind, you is the winner. So you have to actually be really confident, because they look at that's how you walk on stage. You're confident. If you're shaking, they look at everything. So you just have to go out there, put your best foot forward, do your best, lay it all there.
Angela, thank you so much for joining us. Again, congratulations on all your achievements and your accomplishments. Of course, for also being nominated as a woman in sport for the FCB Sports Awards. I want to continue to encourage you to just do you and be you. You know, you are doing what you love. You're breaking barriers. You're bursting through that glass ceiling. You have entered into an unconventional area, an area that many women may want to get into, but just afraid of being stereotyped, afraid of being criticized. And these are just some of the hurdles that we have to overcome as women to just be who we want to be. So congratulations, all the best in your competition. You go there and represent Tobago and represent Trinidad and Tobago very well.
Thank you, Evelyn.
Great. So viewers, we're going back to the photo of the day. Back in the day. You see, I'm being crucified again. I am only a guest host, and they're being really harsh on me this morning. So the photo back in the day, and this is from 1980. And this was the Scarborough. Oh, yes, I remember this. This was the Scarborough Library. So this was before the earthquake happened and destroyed the structure. So great photo back in the day, Scarborough Library, 1980. So viewers, thank you so much for tuning in to the morning show on Tobago Updates. I enjoyed being a guest host today along with your regular host, Adana Combi. It was a pleasure. Thank you, Adana, and of course, Biana with the news in 90 seconds. We want to thank all our guests this morning, Cheryl Clark, Fanta Carrington, and of course, Angela Campbell. We thank you for tuning in. Up next, we have Chanel Felix on GMT. And I encourage you to share the live, share the live, share the live. Have a great day. Have a blessed day. Adana started off with saying, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. So stay focused. Keep God as your center and have a grand day.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
So happy International Women's Day to all the women in Tobago and out throughout the world. The theme this year is Accelerate Action. And that just simply says supporting the women and young girls in whatever that they are doing. We not only, besides supporting, we need to get together, embrace each other, and go out there and do what is supposed to be done to assist all women and young girls.
This year's theme for International Women's Day is embracing equity, and as you can see, we are embracing equity at this point in time where all the ladies from the various services are together here at the Tobago I Love Tobago site.
Good morning to the whole of Trinidad and Tobago. I am Lisa Hamilton, Acting Lieutenant Fire Officer Lisa Hamilton, and I am a first female in the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service. We trained on the 1st of December 1992, and I am still here representing the first female in the organization. Female for the Women's International, it means a lot to me because women have been part of the backbone of this country, whether we acknowledge it or not, but we are. We exemplify power, also control, where we are part of the system in this country where we simplify things. People don't see it that way, but we bring simplicity to complexity. And we are here breaking the glass ceiling, going forward for the future in Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you.
3615 Firefighter Roberts, attached to the ambulance section, fire service.
Number 4365 Firefighter Divines, attached to Blue Watch Scarborough, Tobago Division. We are celebrating Women's Day. We just want to say that woman is power. We are here to show our dominance and woman all the way. Thank you.
Hi, so today we had an awesome day. It was eventful. We met a lot of women who continue to break glass ceilings, who continue to carry the stance and thoughts of women, who continue to move away from detractors and naysayers. So we would have learned a lot. We would have met, as I said, beautiful women, and we encourage them to continue to strive always for excellence.
Today we had our area representative, Mr. Sonny Craig, reading to our students, the infant department in particular. and we were elated to have him. The children were really excited to have someone from outside coming inside to read to them. So they paid attention, they listened attentively, and the rest is just history for them.
We are at the St. Patrick Anglican School, nestled on the hilltop right at the St. Patrick Anglican Church in Mount Pleasant. And I was invited here to read for the children and to see if I could spark that interest in them. We read today about a young man named Max and his grandmother and the experiences they had in the greenhouse in the garden. And I plan to come back to do another part to the reading where Max and his grandmother goes to join the youth club and to interact with other young people. Positive stuff, simple stuff. I learned something today I never knew before, that a squirrel's front teeth never stops growing. That's why they're always gnawing on something, always chewing on something. How did I get that? I read it. So the knowledge is power. And from books, there's a lot of knowledge we could acquire.
This is bedtime storytelling. Yes, it's still lit outside, but we have children in their pajamas, and they have the blankets, and we're having games. And it is to celebrate World Read Aloud Day.
This library is mind-blowingly staffed, very pleasant, very creative, very willing, nurturing. The children love them. So I'm happy that they did something for Read Aloud Day. I usually look forward to the annual pajamas read aloud, and the setting is lovely, and the local author and encouraging Miss Spencer to come and read aloud and talk about why reading is important is great. So I'm glad that they embraced it and they actually facilitated it.
My name is Felicia Spencer, and I am a teacher of 25 years. I'm the author of Finding My Baby Doll. The book was all about a young lady who is entering Standard 1, and she was very nervous about doing that, finding new friends, and how she got to overcome those difficulties in that Standard 1 first day. My book is available online on Amazon, and you can pre-order from me. The number is 737-3284.
Tobago Library Services is all about bringing learning and fun and interaction and events to our local public. So we invite you to come to the library. We are open Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 6 p.m. and on Saturdays, 8:30 to 2 p.m. So we can't wait to see you at our libraries.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake Hey. Hey. Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Let's go, go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. And you know, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But as you know, this week we have our International Women's Day series happening. And what does that mean? That means that I'm joined each morning until Thursday by a lovely, interesting, and impactful female host. This morning we have no other than Miss Brittany Romeo. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Chanel, and thank you so much for having me here. Good morning, Tobago.
No problem. Now, looking very radiant this morning, I must say. I'm glad to have you with us this morning. So, as we celebrate International Women's Month, we had International Women's Day on Saturday. This week on Tobago Updates, we have decided that it's important to shine the light on other women who have been doing some great things in their field, in their sector. But this morning, before we get into those conversations and those interviews, we'll have our news in 90 seconds. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley defended Trinidad and Tobago's sovereignty against U.S. visa restrictions tied to Cuba's medical mission, rejecting claims of human trafficking. Speaking at the commissioning of the $1.3 billion Port of Spain General Hospital Central Block, Rowley reaffirmed ties with Cuba despite U.S. policies. He emphasized healthcare improvements, highlighting new facilities and maintenance priorities. However, Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. Amory Brown confirmed ongoing U.S. CARICOM discussions on Cuba-related policies. Additionally, Division of Education, Research and Technology is finalizing preparations for the 2025 Secondary Entrance Assessment on April 10th. A total of 1,004 students, including 34 private candidates, will sit the exam at 40 Tobago centers. Special concessions have been approved for 25 students with special needs. Training for exam personnel is set for April 3rd. Schools are undergoing infrastructural checks, and strict protocol will be enforced on exam day. Secretary of the Division of Education, Research and Technology, Zurisha Hackett, emphasized the DIRTEC's commitment to a fair and supportive exam environment. And finally, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley's legacy in Tobago is mixed. While some commend his contributions such as infrastructure improvements and efforts towards self-governance, others feel he could have done more for his birthplace. Economist Vanessa James argues that Dr. Rowley's return to Tobago economy has been neglected. Dr. Rowley returns to Tobago economy that has been neglected during his tenure. He believes the island's long-standing issues remain unsolved despite Rowley's years in Parliament. James emphasized that the core problems facing Tobago today are the same when Rowley first began his representation. He stressed that true autonomy should be addressed.
That is okay. I'm coming still. I just might be.
What is happening? Sorry. Thank you, and that was our news in 90 seconds.
Good morning, good morning. Put a smile on your
The Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm. On Easter weekend 2025, Tobago is the place to be from April 17th to 20th. The rhythm, the soul of Tobago. On Thursday, April 17th, get ready for a worship experience at the Shore Park Complex with Melodies from Heaven. Melodies from Heaven. Then on Saturday, 19th April, immerse yourself in the sun, sea, and sand at the Buku Seafood and Jazz Festival, featuring legends of R&B. On Sunday, 20th April, we bring the curtains down at Parade Grounds, Dwight York Stadium for Fusion. Get your tickets on islandetickets.com now or visit TobagoFestivalsCommission.com for more info. Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival 2025. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for
Okay, good morning again, Tobago. We're going to jump right into our conversations today with some exemplary women, and we're going to start with women in sports. We have joining us Miss Quinnell Penny Smith, who is a national power lifter. Quinnell, good morning.
Hi, good morning. Are you hearing me? You hearing me loudly?
Yes, we can hear you now. Good morning.
Okay, great. Hi, good morning. How are you all?
We're good.
This morning.
And
Nice to
happy
be here and
International
happy
Women's Day
Women's
to you.
Day.
Thank you.
Yes,
You
yes.
as well.
Oh, we are happy to have you, Colonel.
Yes.
Now, one of the very rare sport that we happen to hear women in, specifically women here in Tobago, is powerlifting, right? You went to school here in Tobago. Your roots are here in Tobago. How did you really get involved in powerlifting? Let us know that story.
Now this is a very funny story because powerlifting was not a sport back in our time. It was not a sport that was up and around. It went silent for a little while. So as you said, I went to Scarborough Secondary. So, there I did track and field, and netball, and coming out of it, I started to touch a bit on volleyball just to stay active and, to ensure that I keep healthy personally. That was my only thing, just to stay healthy. And then I came to Trinidad. I attended the University of the Southern Caribbean, and I continued volleyball there, and I did further my studies as well. And it was during the pandemic when, well, everything went out. So we had no gyms, no volleyball, no anything. So I started doing my little thing around the savannah. And gyms, they actually reopened. I was really happy about that. And it was there that I started training, and somebody actually just came up to me and said, you should actually try looking into. I personally wasn't interested in it because we didn't have much recognition at that point and awareness. It was on the poorer side. So I was like, you know what, I'll think about it. And lo and behold, I was just goes and try it out, and that was it. I got involved. I started. We made the team. And we're in 2025, so I believe in 2023, that was our first venture outdoors. We went to the Cayman Islands. And then in 2024, we went to Arizona. And in 2025, we are now heading back to the Cayman Islands to defend our title. Right, so that is the entire story of how I delved into the whole powerlifting arena.
Could you share with our viewers what is a day in the life of a powerlifter?
A day in the life of a powerlifter, it is very exciting yet demanding. So a typical day, you have to ensure you eat your macros or your calories depending on your weight class. You have to ensure to get in your percentage of protein, which could be on the harder side, especially if you're a busy person like I am. And if you have a lot of other things going on, it is very tedious and demanding. You have to ensure to train, you have to ensure to do cardio, you have to do all of this, still have a life, and still get 8 hours of sleep. So it is very, very demanding. Sometimes you have to go to training at 12 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. Thankfully, in Trinidad, we have the 24-hour gyms at our leverage, and we are still trying to advocate for it in Tobago as well. And we also have powerlifting, international powerlifting equipment in Trinidad. So it really does help a lot.
Okay.
So it could be on the demanding side. It is definitely not easy, especially when you have stuff like the flu and other viruses going around, and we have
Mm-hmm.
peak seasons, and we have all these things going around that we sometimes fall privy to because intense training really sometimes negatively affects you. But we still push through and we still get it done.
Excellent. And now you are also a registered nurse. So you talk
Oh,
about
I
balancing
am.
life, balancing everything. That clearly has not been easy. But when we look at
No.
women, we think about having that perfect blend of
Mm-hmm.
femininity and masculinity, especially when you are in your own sense a boss, being a nurse, also powerlifting. Powerlifting has the connotation of being more of a masculine sport. So how do you balance your feminine energy and maintaining your softness with being in such a dominant and quote unquote masculine sport?
Personally, for me, it started off with me thing. This is something I did for me. This is something I invested in for me. So initially, when I started, of course, the support was not anywhere close to where it has been now or where
Mm-hmm.
it is currently, right? A lot of people, and these are people that are in my close knit circles. So this is family, this is friends. They're like, why you want to do this? Why you want to do that? And of course, there's a stigma where lifting weights make you look manly.
Mm-hmm.
But this was an investment for me because I'm in the health sector. I am privy to the chronic diseases that constantly plague our nation. So we have the hypertension, we have the diabetes, we have the cardiac failures. And personally, I have told myself that it's never going to be my way out. I mean, we all have to leave sometime, but that is not going to be it for me. So because of that, at a young age, I always told myself, hello, hi,
Yes, we
you
can
all
hear
hearing
you.
me?
We can hear
Yes,
you.
we can hear
Yes.
you.
We had a little bit of disturbances there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would have made it my personal goal to remain healthy no matter what. Because of that, I've been consistent in the gym and I'm at the level where I'm at now. Of course, they're going to say, you know, you don't put on. I've had people message me on Facebook, don't get too manly, don't put on too much
Mm-hmm.
muscle, don't this, don't that, don't the other. But who are you to tell somebody else how far they should go, right? So for me personally, it was just my goal to be the healthiest that I could be, even
Right.
if this is not aesthetically pleasing to the masses. As long as it is pleasing to me and it has me on the healthiest side that I could ever be, then I am definitely okay with it. So that would always be my admonition to other young ladies because other people do message me and say, well, how do you this and how do you that and how do you? My thing is we all have 24 hours. We all make time for what we want to make time for. And you're either going to spend the time staying healthy or spend the time reaping the consequences of being unhealthy, right? So because of that, I just made a decision and I ran with it.
That's a
And we're
really
here to
nice to
stay.
hear. Okay.
Excellent. And are you doing anything, as you said, you encourage other young people to do the same as well, but are you particularly encouraging young women to get into powerlifting? And if so, how have you been able to do so?
Oh, definitely. We are. Usually, what we do as a committee, we try to have multiple competitions during the year. We encourage other people. People would have reached out to the committee, reached out to individuals. They're interested, they want to train or whatever. The only thing that keeps us back now is lack of equipment. And especially where Tobago is concerned, because I am from Tobago, we
Right.
are always advocating and reminding those that are in charge that here's what we need to spread this thing internationally. Well, internationally meaning, yes, Caribbean wise and throughout the globe, but also to our sister isle. We also have athletes from Tobago who compete internationally as well. But personally, I don't find that it is enough. And I think because powerlifting is now back to where it used to be and it's even better, it may take some time to get, equipment and stuff over there, but we are still doing our best to try to push it to the sister isle. And hopefully, one of these years, we could actually have one of our national competitions over there so people could see what we actually do and the level at which we actually do it. And, they could be encouraged as well.
That
But
would
it
be
is
amazing.
something that I would encourage any female or male to do and to start because it's not just about lifting weights, and anybody who lifts weights, especially at a competitive level, knows this. It takes way more than just physical strength. It takes way more than just mental strength. It takes a lot out of you, but it also gives you a lot as long as you have a lot to give to it, you know?
Excellent. And so we want to thank you so much for, doing something different and setting the stage for other young women to follow in your footsteps and probably even do greater things. Some persons have to walk so that others could run. And you being one of those starters here from Tobago, we wish you and your team all the best moving forward. So is there anything
Okay,
that you want
thank
to
you
say as
very
we round up
much.
the discussion this morning to Tobago, to your family, to all the women watching?
Well, I just want to say thanks to everyone who would have encouraged in some way, form, or fashion. And to women especially, it may not be powerlifting because powerlifting is really on another level, right? You really have to have a love for it to stick with it. But do something that benefits you from this year. Like literally sit and think about something that is going to literally work out for you in probably the next 10, 15, 20 years. And whatever it is, like all gas, no brakes. Because
I
you
like
only
that.
have one life to live, right? And we don't get a do-over. And you owe it to yourself to be the healthiest and to be the best version and representation of yourself, of your family, and of your bloodline that you could ever be. Right? So that's just my encouragement to anybody out there who's probably listening and wondering, because it's easy for us as women to say we don't have time and we have kids and we have this and we have that. And no, this is 2025. We make the time,
That is
right?
true.
So that's just my encouragement. So hopefully I could probably see one of you guys someday, sometime.
Well, we never know, but thank you so much for joining
Lifting
us here
weights
this
as
morning,
well.
Quinnell, and continue to do an amazing job at what you're doing.
Well, okay. Thanks again for
All
having
right.
Thank you
me.
so much.
All
Okay,
right. Take
bye.
care.
All right. Well, guys, we're going to take a quick break right here and we'll be back right after this. See you soon.
The energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. I beat and roll, we beat and roll. I beat and roll, we beat and roll. Spirited me, I beat and roll. Spirited me, I beat and roll. Spirited me, I beat and roll. What to do? Let me see how sticky good get. See how sticky good get. Let me see how sticky good. See how sticky good. See how sticky good get. Let me see how sticky good get. See how sticky good get. Let me see how sticky good. See how sticky good. See how sticky good get. Wet me down, 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 wet me down. Right now I'm overeating. Wet me down, wet me down.
Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Okay, welcome back to Tobago, and we're going to continue our conversations with exemplary women, and now the topic is all about women in leadership. We have here with us someone that is very interested, but really commendable for what she's been able to accomplish. We have with us Hadassah Oshun Trim. She's an entrepreneur, hair enthusiast, and youth leader. Good morning, Oshun, or Hadassah.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Good morning. It's a pleasure having you here in studio with us. And so for the persons in Tobago who are totally unaware of who you are, tell us a bit about yourself and your journey.
Okay, my name is Oshun Trim, but I go by Hadassah as well. I am an entrepreneur, newly founded entrepreneur. I am a hair enthusiast. I am a youth leader. I love to advocate on behalf of persons who are not able to do so. And I'm just a very fun and bubbly and theatrical person because that is the family that I would have come out of. So that is just a little bit about myself.
And your background, if I can remember, it's in theater.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So from theater, you're now into entrepreneurship and into leadership. Can you tell us more about your youth advocacy?
Okay, sure. From the tender age of, I could say 11 when I started at Bishop's High School, I just had a passion for talking up for injustice. I had a passion for advocacy. I just had a passion to have my voice be heard. So I would have joined the student council. After that, I would have joined numerous clubs, Black Hat Poetics, Spoken Word Club. Moving on from high school, venturing into UE, I would have joined the Guild of Students. I was very fresh on the scene, a fresher first year student coming and becoming the Faculty of Humanities representative. That was a big deal for me. And being able to just have my voice be heard on such a larger scale was exciting, exhilarating, and it was an inspiration for the persons I would have prefected in Bishop's High School.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there any youth community group that you're partnering with now or anything that you're doing currently in Tobago?
Yes. I am a part of the Tobago Youth Council. I am the Lady Vice Chair. And I do have my own NGO. It's called the Phoenix Society. It's where we use the cultural aspects of the island to develop young people. And right now, I am a part of the Europort Trinidad and Tobago Steering Committee. I am one of the communications leads.
Lovely.
Excellent. That sounds like a lot to
It is
manage
a lot.
at your young age, right? So how have you been striking that balance of, doing your youth work and now you're building a business while also having a career and you're still into the culture and the arts and partaking in those areas? How are you striking that balance and how would you inspire other young persons to find that balance for themselves?
So I think the key thing is to do something that you like, something that you're passionate about. So if you are not doing something that you're passionate about, you would not find the time to do so. So youth advocacy, the cultural arena, entrepreneurship, these are things that I love dearly. So I do make the time, I find the time to put all together, if not have them separate.
Right. And how are you striking that balance of kind of making everything into one so that it doesn't feel like multiple things, but it feels like one thing with different aspects of it?
Right. So I use the branch of theater because I am theater. I would put theater into my business, the Ocean Effect, which is event hosting business. I'll put theater into advertising my hair care journey. I put theater into, or the creativity of theater into doing workshops so that I can be able to relate and resonate with the persons that I am working with. So theater is the merging tool that I use to combine all in one.
Excellent. So as we continue to celebrate International Women's Week or month, what does being a woman mean to you?
That question. For me, being a woman, to be completely honest, being a woman is a struggle and a strength. When I say struggle, I am really talking about the ridiculous expectations and challenges and limitations and biases that society really pose upon us, and the double standard of being all of these things but not too much of these things. So they want us to be strong but don't be too aggressive. They want us to be nurturing but don't be too soft. Don't be a pushover. They want us to be ambitious but not too much. So the double standard of being too much is the struggle, but within the struggle, I think that just finding our strength to endure and rise above and create in spite of it is the beauty of being a woman.
Excellent. And what would you say is the core area that you would like to inspire other young women? Because you do a number of things. You lead, you speak, you host. But when you think about that thing that you want to leave as your legacy and inspire other women to do or to follow in, what would that be for you?
That is a very loaded question, but my answer is simple. In order for you to leave a legacy, you must be able to be yourself. Despite of all the challenges that you face, you must have to show up your authentic self. It doesn't matter if persons like it or they don't like it. Once you like it, we love it. So show up as your authentic self.
I love that. That's exactly what I was thinking. So I'm glad that you would have, touched on that, because it's so important for women to be their authentic self. And we see now more than ever that authenticity being the bridge that can really take you to where you want to go. And also finding your tribe and your community, because women are inspired by authenticity and persons who are unapologetically them. What are some of your goals that you are trying to achieve and inspiring other persons to go for as well?
Well, I am currently looking at options for tertiary level education or higher tertiary level education. I do have my bachelor's in film production and film studies, so I do want to diversify my offerings to study tourism. So that is my main and major goal right now. Also, I do want to expand my business and work with different clients. So I would have worked with First Citizens. I would have worked with the Division of Tourism, Antiquities, Culture and Transportation. I would have worked with the Ministry of, OPM CAST. I would have worked with local creative agencies, Luisa Dance Agency, Uncle Dance Theatre. So I just want to expand my business and follow in the footsteps of getting higher level education.
Excellent. We want to thank you so much for your time this morning. Is there anything you want to say to the women watching, the audience watching, as it relates to going for your goals? Anything you want to say in closing?
Yes. So I'm going to watch here. I know that sometimes we are afraid, but I want us to feel the fear and do it anyways.
Excellent. Very nice words. All right, well, I want to thank you again, and I want to congratulate you for all that you have done and all that you continue to do as a young woman striving towards entrepreneurship and authenticity. And we wish you all the best in pursuing that higher level education. And guys, you heard it here. She's trying to expand her business, expand her reach, get into a number of different sectors as it relates to being a master of ceremony, hosting, having workshops and things of that nature. So you can reach out to Hadessa, and how can we do that?
You can find me on Instagram or at Facebook at The Oshun Effect.
Right, and there you can see all of her offering and see if that's something that you and your company might be interested in. So guys, we're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back right after this. See you soon.
New morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
The Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm. On Easter weekend 2025, Tobago is the place to be from April 17th to 20th. The Rhythm, the Soul of Tobago. On Thursday, April 17th, get ready for a worship experience at the Shore Park Complex with Melodies from Heaven. Melodies from Heaven. Then on Saturday, 19th April, immerse yourself in the sun, sea, and sand at the Buku Seafood and Jazz Festival, featuring legends of R&B. On Sunday, 20th April, we bring the curtains down at Parade Grounds, Dwight York Stadium for Fusion. Get your tickets on islandetickets.com now or visit TobagoFestivalsCommission.com for more info. Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival 2025. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm.
It's currently 8:48 in Tobago, and we have our final host with us this morning. Joining us is Miss Renissa Ortiz, and she is an advocate, entrepreneur, business student, and pageant competitor. So, Miss Renissa Ortiz is a 24-year-old with a background in pageantry, was crowned Miss Tobago 2024, and earned a top 5 placement in Miss World Trinidad and Tobago 2024. She currently holds the title of Miss Tourism World Trinidad and Tobago 2024. As an entrepreneur and business administration student, her studies focus on strategic management and leadership, equipping her with the tools to excel in business and advocacy. Passionate about empowering young women, her work highlights the impact of absent fathers on self-esteem and personal development, driving meaningful change within communities. Renissa, good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
It's a privilege to have you here as well. So tell us a bit about the Miss Tourism. That's something that a lot of persons are unaware of. Tell us a bit about that one particularly.
The Miss Tourism pageant is focused on highlighting the tourism offerings of each country. I was scheduled to go in January to China for the competition. However, due to circumstances out of my control as well as my franchise holders, I was not able to attend. But generally, it's a competition that is held every year in China for us to share, and for the purpose of globalization, just sharing what your country's tourism offerings are.
Okay. So what led you to pageantry?
I'm always asked this question, and truth be told, pageantry isn't something I wanted to pursue. It literally just fell into my lap. I went to a course for the purpose of developing my business, and Mr. Nathan, he was a gentleman that was carrying out the Creative Youth Workshop in Tobago, focusing on the creative arts, fashion industry. Recently, Miss Anaya Baird, she was my first runner-up. She excelled so much that she's now in Milan modeling, and you are seeing it on Newsday and stuff. So I'm really proud of her. That was one of the products out of that. So I went to that workshop for the sole purpose of developing my business, and he asked me to try it for the pageant, and that's where everything took off. So pageantry, I've never looked at it as something that I wanted for myself, but now being in this space and being able to have these opportunities, it has really shown me the importance of being in pageantry and the exposure and the networking that it makes you available to.
Well, tell us a little bit more about your business.
My business is Run Create. I focus on creating women's wear for mostly plus-size women, because I have realized that there is a gap in that market per se. There are a lot of women, especially here in Tobago, we are more full-figured. We are not like the standard European style, which means that maybe your waist might be 24, but your hips are 38. So sometimes there's that big gaping that you see, and you have to go and put a dart in the back. And I fell in love with sewing through my grandmother. And from there, during my high school career, I did clothing and textile as a subject. I put it down for a while, and during COVID is when I picked it back up again. And for today, Brand Creates is going on 4 years. I started when I was 21, now 24. And it has been a great experience. I recently started back Rent Create because I was on hiatus because of pageantry, so like I took a whole year off, and now I am back, and things are going smoothly.
Okay.
Excellent. And for you, how important is it for you to use your platform, use your voice, use your business to inspire other young women here in Tobago? And where do you see some of the major gaps as it relates to developing young women?
I think there's a wide scope of where we need to step in, and I think, as I mentioned, with my advocacy in terms of absent fathers, that's also one of the major gaps that we have. And I think it has become so normalized that a lot of young people, not just young women, are growing up without the presence of a father figure. And that is very crucial. That is very important in your development, because what you see then now is that we have a breakdown in the family structure. And when there's a breakdown in the family structure, our young women or future is now in jeopardy, because you have one person with the sole responsibility of doing everything. And sometimes that isn't the best space to be, because there are things that are going to be missed. And using my platform and my voice, that's why I spoke about the absent fathers, because it's something that I have experienced. But I was fortunate enough to have male role models around me, my grandfather, being in youth clubs where there are male mentors. And all of that has been so crucial and important. Excuse me. All of that has been so crucial and important to my development. And I have seen where that would also be able to benefit a lot of young women.
Okay, so tell me something. How do you balance everything that you're doing, and what do you do to balance? How do you balance it?
I would say all of that goes back to your community and the way you were raised. I would say that I was brought up with understanding the importance of discipline, prioritizing, also knowing what you want for yourself. And sometimes knowing what you want for yourself as a young person doesn't always come easy. You have to go through trials. I know that might sound strange to some of the older folks because I'm just 24, but we are young people. We go through things. We have peer pressure. We have things where sometimes you learn from others' mistakes. And in terms of learning how to balance, it was trial and error.
Right.
You always have to be constantly shifting the way that you do things, because one strategy wouldn't always work for everything. And as you grow and you evolve, you would have to change some things to fit where you are currently at.
Totally understood. And I'm glad that you brought that up, the whole idea of discipline. I mean, because in order to be good at anything, that discipline and that consistency is needed. And for you, it seems like your life has transformed in a short space of time by just meeting one person. So how important is networking for you in the grand scheme of things? And how would you encourage other young women particularly to value, the benefits that come from networking?
I know a lot of times we hear the word networking, and it's easy to say, go out and talk to people, but I think the most important thing that you need to understand before you network is understand where you want to go. If you don't know where you want to go, you'll be networking with any and everyone, and sometimes they are not going to be assisting with where you want to go in life. They wouldn't help to align you to where you want to go. So I think the first and most important thing when you have to think about networking is understand your purpose and the direction for your life. Then when you understand that, you are then able to put yourself in the spaces necessary for you to get there.
Okay, lovely. So I know I had asked this question to Ocean earlier, but I want to ask it to you as well, because as we continue to celebrate International Women's Month, what does being a woman mean to you? And knowing that we have had a lot of research into mental health, how do you safeguard your mental health?
How do I safeguard my mental health? I think it, first and foremost, as I mentioned before, you need to know where you want to go in life. And knowing where you want to be at in life, it allows you to prune yourself, know what you need to remove from your life, what you need to keep, serious meditation, whether it be journaling, having accountability partners, focusing on your spirituality, whatever that might be. Mine is God. Finding what really makes you happy, and happiness to everyone is different. Finding what you are content with, focusing on the things that are true to you. So my idea of fun might be going to the beach, having a picnic, reading a book, and I am content and I am happy with that. Someone else, it might be going to an event, enjoying an all-inclusive. So it all depends on the person, and that's how I safeguard my mental health. Staying true to me, staying true to the things that are for my growth and for my development. And I think that helps you when you are thinking about your mental health and safeguarding it. What does it mean to be a woman? Being a woman means so many different things to so many different people. And I think that a lot of times we are pushed to a wall and we are focused on being strong. Sometimes we don't want to be strong. We just want to be able to exist in a space where I could be vulnerable and vulnerable enough to know that the persons that are around me are going to hold me up, are going to keep me at the standard that I need to be and pat me on the back when I'm sad. I don't have to hide everything and say, well, I'm okay, when in fact I know that I'm not okay. There are layers to us. There are so many different things about us. There are people who would see me and say, she's always so well put together and she's always so poised and graceful. But I'm also very animated, and sometimes you would not see that unless in my close-knit circle, and you would see the strange noises I may make to mimic something. And there's just so many layers to being a woman. There's motherhood, there's leadership, there is persons who choose to adopt. So there are so many layers of what it means to be a woman, and I think it's important that you find what that means to you. And to me, that means just expressing yourself in the most authentic way possible.
Excellent. I'm glad that you said that. Extremely inspiring. And Brittany, I am really impressed by the women that we have spoken to this morning. It just shows that, you know, out of Tobago, we have a number of impressive women who are doing some great things. And so we want to ask you if there's anything that you want to say to the women watching this morning before we close off the discussion this morning. Is there any inspiring word you want to leave, or anyone you want to just say thank you to as we close off this morning?
I want to say thank you to all the women who have contributed significantly and positively to my life. All the kind words, all the great advice that they have bestowed upon me. It has been amazing receiving all of them. They have all been a part of my journey and where I'm at and where I'm going. And to all the young women out there, I just want you to continue believing in yourself, be authentic as much as possible. There's a quote that someone said to me a long time ago that still remains true: to thine own self be true. And once you are true to yourself, a lot of things that come to you would be for your alignment and not necessarily out of what others expect of you.
Oh, wow. Excellent. Brittany, have you enjoyed this morning as much as I have?
I think it has been very inspiring just being in rooms with so many exemplary women and just to hear their stories. I think it's something that we hope that we continue, and I really like to commend Tobago Updates for having this initiative just to speak with women and to hear their stories and to be able to hear their livelihoods. So unfortunately, we have to come to an end. But it has been an amazing morning. And Vanessa, we just want to say thank you so much for joining us here as we wrap up this segment of Good Morning Tobago.
Thank you so much for having me.
I want to thank you, our viewers, for sticking with us this morning. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing and continue to do to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am Chanel Felix. This morning I was joined by Miss Brittany Romeo, and we had a number of impressive young Tobago women on the show this morning. And so we want to thank you and say have a great day.
Strong.